That's when Susanna came to think of it. They had forgotten to go and cut down a Christmas tree. It was high time. The day after tomorrow was Christmas.
Do the professor have time to follow me? Susanna has to bake and Sonny can't leave the locomotive. And we have to be 2 men, because the Christmas tree must be large and reach all the way up to the roof.
Can be nice with a forest walk on top of all the invention. Admittedly, the Christmas tree belongs to old times and doesn't fit in a modern 21st century, but if you have promised to keep your fingers away from time, you have. Come on, let's go.
It was a hard journey. The snow was deep in the forest and the spruce was bushy and heavy. The professor was completely blue in the face when they finally got home. Susanna was absolutely terrified when she met them at the door.
You haven't destroyed our fine professor, have you? You know we can't get a new.
The professor had to laugh.
No danger. It doesn't hurt to use your body properly sometime. No, now we have to try to get the Christmas tree in. It's probably a little too big to enter without problems.
The Christmas tree was really much too big. They got started by chopping it off lengthwise, and then on the width, and then at the length again. When it finally came in, it didn't look funny. Reminded more of a ruffled thicket than a Christmas tree. Susanna sobbed.
We can't have a monster like this. People will laugh at us. You have to go out and chop a new one.
Absolutely no time for that. Now the trains have started to go again and it just rushes in packages and luggage with each train. We will be without a spruce then. Unless the professor.
Susanna looked at him with tear-filled, pleading eyes.
Do the professor think that, maybe, it could be done?
Professor Case squirmed.
Susanna means that I should invent a Christmas tree. That's not really my area at all. But maybe, if I can do one completely after my own head. Do you agree with that?
Oh yes.
Well then, Susanna has a steel stand out in the laundry room, so I have seen to dry the laundry on. Can I get it here?
Susanna ran fast like a weasel, a pretty robust weasel of course, and picked it up. The professor looked at it, measured carefully, and then he connected it to the generator he had used for the tele-humming device. And immediately it began to hum in the whole steel frame.
Now open the door. Where all the needles and twigs lies, that remained of the real spruce. Open, and we'll see.
Slowly Susanna opened the door. And at once the buzz increased from the steel stand, and it began move among the spruce twigs out on the platform. And at once it blew straight into position on the stand, so it became clad with needles and branches as by an invisible hand. After 5 seconds, it was the most handsome Christmas tree they've ever had inside the waiting room at Centerville Station. Susanna and Samuel just gaped. The professor smiled a little embarrassed.
A simple thing. I just made the stand magnetic. Spruce magnetic. Any baby can do it. If you know how.
Yes, as long as you know how. Then everything is so ridiculously simple, isn't it?
This tree is fully automatic. Do you want to get rid of it for a little while or a couple of hours? Then you just turn button on the generator in the other direction. Like this.
And suddenly all the branches and needles flew back the same way they had come. Immediately the professor turned the knob again. And suddenly the tree stood there again. Now it was even a little snow on it.
A fully automatic spruce. Imagine you would experience something like this in old Centerville.
Dressing the Christmas tree went in exactly the same way. The professor made it only magnetic for garlands, flags and glitter. Swoosh, it was dressed. That night Susanna cried both of happiness and concern.
Think, if the locomotive isn't completed on time, and Santa Claus isn't coming, then there will be no Christmas in Centerville. It doesn't help how many fully automatic spruces we can dance around.